Susan Cox Johnson, and welcome to the OT Times. I was born in 1876 and I lived until 1932. I was one of the 5 founders of the National Society for Promotion of Occupational Therapy. I was a nurse, designer, educator, and arts and crafts teacher who advocated for the use of arts and crafts to redirect thoughts, strengthen bodies, and regain self-confidence. Some of the students are doing crafts like those right here. I taught occupational therapy at a teacher's college at a Columbia University in New York. My characteristics embody someone who occupational therapists are supposed to be, and my ideas are one of occupational therapists that they still use today.
Hi, my name is Sydney.
Hi, my name is Camila.
Hi, my name's Sarah.
And we're going to talk about occupational therapy in the 1940s.
A foundational theme that started in the 1920s and continued in the 1940s during the war was the empathetic nature of occupational reconstruction aids compared to physiotherapy aids, all of which reflected the differences in the tools and treatments used, leaving an impact on the education taught to occupational therapists.
World War II brought the focus of healthcare back to vocational rehabilitation and the need to retrain returning soldiers with a variety of disabilities for occupations suitable for the home front. Several changes in social policy had occurred since World War I, including the New Deal providing Social Security income for persons with disabilities and the GI Bill providing funding for vocational retraining, which facilitated the payment for occupational therapy services and physical rehabilitation in pre-vocational training programs. The vocational training programs extended to both physical and mental health settings, which often led to supervised work placements within the hospital itself. For others with special needs, shelter workshops were set up where persons with disabilities could earn modest wages by doing contract work in an adapted and carefully supervised environment. With that being said, let's take a break. Who wants to hear a joke?
Me!
You ready? Knock knock.
Who's there?
HIPAA.
HIPAA who?
Sorry, I can't tell you that.
Aww.
By the 1940s, the formal OT insignia was changed to OTR, which stands for Registered Occupational Therapist. In 1941, during the AOTA conference, there was a luncheon held for OTs at the White House. Also in 1941, the Philadelphia School of Occupational Therapy offered multiple points of entry. Some include a bachelor's degree, which could be completed in 4 to 5 years, one for only women who met prerequisites, a 21-month course, and a 3-year course. In 1943, a new registration exam was tried but unsuccessful because the essay questions were too difficult to have consistent grading.
In 1944, U.S. Army War emergency courses in OT began. During World War II, in 1939 through 1945, upon the United States entry into World War II, demand for OTs skyrocketed. With only a few accredited schools and an 18-month program, the Army implemented war emergency classes to expedite occupational therapy training. Military occupational therapy personnel increased by 7,000%.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot. Now let's hear what our other friends have to say.
Hi, we're here to finish up the timeline for you guys. I'm Samantha.
Hi, I'm Lauren.
Hi, I'm Hannah. And in 1945, OTs required passing an exam in order to become a registered occupational therapist. In 1945, Congress also passed a healthcare bill which included insurance, new hospitals, public health, and the building of more medical schools. In 1946, the Hill-Burton Act was passed, which distributed loans for healthcare, making occupational therapy more available for all patients.
Next, I'm going to talk about some things that happened in 1947. Winifred Conrick Common was the first registered OT to become AOTA president. AJOT is first published with Charlotte Bone as the editor. The Army-Navy Nurses Act of 1947 established the Army Nurses Corps and Women's Medical Specialties Corps in the regular Army, consisting of OT, PT, and dietitians. This was where multiple choice questions were created. 1947 was also when medical models such as the rehabilitation and kinetic model became prominent. The rehabilitation model was further developed in the occupational therapy curative workshops, such as the one Spackman directed in Philadelphia, which focused on the analysis of tasks, their adaptation to facilitate continued functions in ADLs, and the use of compensatory techniques such as the fabrication and use of adaptive equipment to support continued functioning in work, leisure, and self-care activities. Ultimately, the goal of occupational therapy was to return restored patients to competitive employment and independent community living. The kinetic model, published by Sidney Litch in 1947, provided a scientific basis for the analysis of activities using a biomechanical frame of reference. Claire Spackman interpreted this model for treating patients with physical injuries in the first edition of Occupational Therapy, which she edited with Helen Willard in 1947.
In 1949, the Essentials of Acceptable School of OT stated that those being trained in OT are to work under the direction of a qualified physician and not as independent OT practitioners. This is when the fight for autonomy begins. In the 1940s, the paradigm shift was the first shift to occur in the 1940s and 1950s, when the profession came under pressure from medicine to provide scientific evidence for its practice. Are we gonna do like OT? Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want to say the thanks for watching and then
And then
maybe
OT. Yeah.
Thanks for watching!
Oh,
2, 1.
Thanks for watching OT! Yeah!